Real estate agents, here are 3 easy hacks that you can use on your social media to get a better reach to the right kind of people and actually get more business from your social media. And I'm gonna go in order of importance, scaling up. So 3 is the most important, so make sure to stick to that one. And real quick, if you don't know me, my name is Cole. I run Jarvis Media Consolidated. We help real estate agents and have helped agents for over 5+ years, 200+ agents across the country. We know what we're doing. That's kind of where a lot of this information is coming from. So let's jump into it. So number one, you wanna solve one issue very quickly on your social media. So even if that's longer form content, but mostly we're talking short form content, you want to solve an issue and you want to solve it as fast as possible. Too many people, when they do actually make social media content in real estate, they try to do a million things at once. But the real thing is that only one of those reasons, only one of those fixes or solutions that you're providing is why most of your people are coming there. So just choose the best one and just solve that one problem. Here's why that's so important. On the social media platforms, everyone's focused on retention. And this is why short form content is so big, because it keeps people on the platforms longer. That's why after TikTok had showed this to be successful, YouTube implemented shorts. Facebook and Instagram implemented reels. Everyone's doing short form content because it keeps people on the platform longer. So here's why this matters for your content. If you put out a 60-second video where you're talking about how somebody can better, stage their house for a better home sale, let's say, and then maybe you also create a 20-second video that does a better job or even just says the same stuff, but does it quicker. There's multiple reasons why that's really helpful. One, on the algorithmic side, what you're doing is you're creating a piece of content that is much more condensed, which means there's more value per second. So when people scroll by this, they're gonna be like, whoa, this is super helpful and it's so quick, like I wanna watch this. And a really cool secondary effect is that a lot of times if you go quickly through your content and you do that, what's gonna happen is that people are gonna watch multiple times. So what that means for the algorithm is that they're gonna basically see that when people see this piece of content, not only do they watch 100% of the time, but on average, people are watching 2-3 times. Because it's 20 seconds long, they want to rewatch it again to make sure they understand the topic before they're scrolling away. Now compare that to a video that's 60 seconds long, where you're doing the same thing, but you're talking about it and you're taking your time more. You're not really getting to the meat and potatoes of the solution as fast as possible. What ends up happening there is they say, oh, well, actually, most people are only getting 80% of the way through this video, or 40%, or 20% through this video, which means if we're going to show it to more people on the platform, most people are only going to stay for like, a 20th of that piece of content or a 5th of that piece of content, whatever it ends up being. And so compare that to the same basic solution, the same basic video, but just compressed in a way that gets more people to watch longer. That is going to be much better because they're like, wow, every time we show this to a person, they stay 3 times as long. So the platforms want to keep people on there as long as possible because they make more money because you see more ads, and that's their entire business model. So if you're comparing those two solutions, and one video is 20 seconds, one video is 60 seconds, but it solves the same problem to the same basic level of proficiency, the 20-second video is going to perform way, way, way better algorithmically, which means you're going to get in front of way more people. And the other thing, the reason why this is beneficial from a brand perspective, is that you're going to be associated with people to provide a lot of value very, very quickly. And that is insanely helpful because at the end of the day, information is cheap, but transformation is powerful. And the more value you can provide per second, the more transformational you can be to somebody. So that is where you're going to provide more value to your brand and your audience, and you're going to get in front of more people anyway from an algorithmic perspective. Number 2, address your audience first. So I can't tell you how many times that people put up a piece of content and they say, hey, thanks for coming back. I'm this person, I do whatever. Obviously I had a little intro in my video, but it was relatively quick. And first, before I do that, I say, real estate agents, here's what you're going to get out of this. I address who this is for, and I address, hey, this is what we're actually going to do. And so doing that, at least the people seeing the video are going to say, oh, wow, okay, like he's speaking directly to me. And what a lot of folks think is that I need to be everything to everybody. But in today's day and age, there are billions of pieces of content being created. You're never going to be able to compete with everybody, so never try to. Like, think about the biggest movie stars in the world. They can't compete with everybody. So what chance do we have when we're not full-time content creators? We're real estate agents looking to actually use social media to grow our business. So don't do that. Be a master in a very specific field. Say, hey, if you're a buyer in Portland, Oregon, here's exactly what you need to do in 3 months to make sure you get into the home of your dreams. Like, that is addressing exactly a very particular avatar that you can have the best solution with. And those people who see that are going to end up watching the video more of the way through because they feel like it's personally for them, which it is. And that's why the content is going to perform in a vacuum better to that audience, because if you try to be everything, you're not going to be helpful. But to that one audience, who's the people you want to talk to anyway, you can be really profound and really professional and helpful. And real quick, before I move on, if you want a free walkthrough of our lead generation process on social media, it's totally free. There's a link down below. You can schedule a one-on-one call with me. I'll walk you through exactly the best system that we've seen over the 5+ years we've been running this stuff for real estate agents to get quality leads, how to alter those leads to get the best quality, how to get them fast with very low budget, and ultimately how to do all that so you don't have to hire a marketing company to do it for you. It's totally free. Link down below. Hope that helps. So going into number 3, the most important thing that you can do to get better social media content is to repost your best content. It sounds so funny, but let's say you post 100 pieces of content in the course of a year, right? One of those will inarguably be the best piece of content that you posted that year. So take that piece of content and repost it. You can actually repost it on a lot of platforms, or you can literally just take the same video, upload it again. And if you want to change a little bit of the verbiage or maybe edit a little bit of the intro or whatnot, that's totally fine. But some of the top creators do this for a very smart reason. One, the content's already done, which is great and super helpful. But more importantly than that is that backed by data, because you can see which videos got the most views, the most engagement, whatever it is you're looking for, the most click-through traffic if you're tracking that properly with the right tools. You can understand what thing is actually doing the best work out of all the pieces of content that you have out there and just use it again. Because at the end of the day, how many times do we post a piece of content that our entire audience sees? Basically never. And on top of that, even if everybody in your audience saw that post, which they definitely did not, even if they did, if you post that again 3 months later, if it was helpful 3 months ago, it's probably still helpful. People need to be reminded more often than they need to be taught. And my favorite example is Dave Ramsey, who's been making content forever about the same basic things. Or Graham Stephan, or Meet Kevin. Like, they have core tenets here around their subjects that they will keep coming back to because that's still valuable, right? Like, just because you say, oh, here are some really great tactics for selling a home, that doesn't mean that that person's never going to need to be reminded about that, or never need to hear that, or maybe hear it in different phrasing if you do want to recreate that content. Reposting is a great way to get an automatic win because you can repost the content that's working best. And on a 201 level of that is you can recreate the content in a slightly different atmosphere. Maybe you say, wow, that piece of content did really well, but I actually think I can get to the point quicker. Let me re-record it and just say the same basic stuff, but I'm gonna omit some stuff here where I said or where I just didn't do as good of a job presenting the content. It's really easy to do that because you already have the frame of reference, you already know it's effective, and you can just do that. And you can do that with the top 10 or top 20 pieces of content every year, even every other month. Just repeat the content because it's going to be super helpful to that audience because it's already proven to be really impactful. So that is one of the biggest recommendations. And by the way, if you use a social media manager, this is very easy to do depending on the one that you have. And if you don't have one and / need that or some more CRM tools, there's a link down below to JSM, Jarvis Social Manager. It's a CRM we built at a high level. You can try it out for 14 days totally free. Click that link down below and you'll be able to try it out. What it lets you do is repost content with a click of a button. You can see what you've posted. You can post to all your social media platforms instantly, and then you can just hit repost from that post that you did a month ago that did really well, and it just go right back up to all the same platforms. It's so easy, such a time saver, huge recommendation. And if you have another tool that does that, just use that. You don't have to use this tool, obviously. But those are the 3 most important steps there. And a bonus step number 4 is track your results. When you end up going through your content and actually seeing what's working best, that is a huge leg up. Most people, most agents aren't posting enough anyway, let alone when they post, they don't actually go back and see what really is working best for them, right? And there are a lot of different metrics I won't get into, but at the end of the day, you can vaguely tell at a quick instance what was more impactful. Just look at the views. That's not a perfect metric for the best piece of content, but if you're making content for a very specific audience, it's very niche. It's not trying to be flashy and like just trying to get trends or whatever. You can actually say, okay, well, this was very niche to my subject. It was very core to helping a specific solution to a specific person, and it performed really well. Then great, I know I should make more content like that. And at least that gets you further along so that you can start compounding your results. In the beginning, you're not getting a lot of great results on social media. That's just the world of organic, but at least you learn what is working and you can double down on that and get better results. So guys, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.